at the home of Jack Pike in Whiterocks, and Lina Pike now is going to give us her name, her birth date, and her parents' name. And then, Lina, I want you to tell me the story of your dad.
Well, I was born in September 10th, 1888. But I didn't come to the base until 1905. But my husband has lived here most of his life, so he'll have to tell you the story. My mother and dad, my father was Ether T. Hancock, and my mother was Mrs. Bell Hancock. Most everybody here in the Uinta Basin knows that.
Your dad was killed, I understand. Was he out looking for gold, or what was the story on that?
I just never know the truth about that, honey. I don't know if they was interfering with somebody else's prospect hole or mine that they were claiming when he was killed.
Jep, tell me who your mother was. My husband and I were arguing last night who your mother was. Was she a workman? Who was your mother? Tell me who your mother was.
Lady Jane Pike.
But her maiden name?
Taylor. Yeah.
Okay, now tell me your father's name.
His name was Lucious Aaron Pike.
Now he was white, and your mother was part Indian?
Yeah, he was white. Mother was half Indian.
What's your birth date, Jap? Your birth date.
My birthday? I wasn't born.
Well, then how did you get here?
Oh, born 1885.
How old are you now?
Past 83.
All right, then you've been here all your life, Jap. Start telling me a little of what you know of the early history.
I haven't been here all my life. We never come here till 1891. That's pretty early, yeah.
You were here then about the time they moved the Indians in, a little later than when they moved the Indians in from the Utah Valley.
Oh, I don't remember days, you know.
Just go ahead and tell me anything you remember of early history. Where you lived down there, and where you lived, and...
Oh, we came from Spanish Fork to here in June 1891, spring 1891, and settled down here on the river on 80 acres of land. Oh, I don't know. We lived there for a long time. About 1930, we moved up here. Mother moved up here. And we moved here in 1941. Been here ever since.
Jap, when you first came here, your mother was enrolled here?
We got enrolled when we came here. After
land.
we came, yeah. We got enrolled just a short time after we got here. The grandmother and the grandfather, they came out a year before we did from Spanish Fork, and they kept writing out for us to come here. We could get some land by getting on the road. So we came.
Jap, how did they treat the Indians when you first came here? Did they have a hard time getting along?
Just as shabby as they always did.
Pretty shabby, huh?
Yeah. They gave them rations once a week, just enough to exist on.
Did many of them die from cold and hunger?
Oh, not so many from starvation. But TB was the most trouble. After they were confined, they contracted TB mostly, and especially in the schools.
Did you go to the boarding school?
Yes. Yes, went there in the fall. 91.
In 91. Was that at the old Plaza School or the boarding school that they have now?
Whiterocks.
The Whiterocks.
Oh, Whiterocks School. Yeah. Well, we went there until about about 97. Then they shipped a bunch of us to Grand Junction at Christmas time, and we just stayed there till school was out, and then he came back. Let us come back, and the next fall they shipped us to Haskell Institute, Florence, Kansas.
Whether you wanted to go or not, huh?
Well, they, through our parents' consent, you know.
Let you go.
That's the way that was done.
Do you remember any of the older Indians, the older chiefs that were here? Do you remember Chief Tabby?
No, I never knew Chief Tabby.
Did you know John Duncan?
I knew John Duncan.
What kind of a chief do you think he was? Pretty good?
Well, that stage of the game, they were about past having chiefs, you know.
Yeah.
And, so John Duncan was one of the leaders. And, Uncle David Copperfield was one of them also. That's all I remember.
Do you remember the Negro soldiers?
Yes, I do.
Tell me something about them. This will be a fun
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you about the little Joe Frenchman that married an Indian woman down there. I can tell you that, and it's comical.
Go ahead.
Well, they caught him with a jug of whiskey and asked him where he got it. He said, I got it from a nigger. They said, you think you could pick out the nigger that you got it from? He says, maybe. So they took him down to Fort Duchesne. They lined all the nigger soldiers up there, and they walked down the line and looked them all over, and then come back up the line, looking them all over. And the officer said, which one was it? He said, I can't tell. All niggers look alike to me.
He got out of that one, didn't he? How did the Indians get along with the Negroes as a whole? Was there feelings between them?
Oh, they wasn't mixed with them, you know. They didn't mix with them. The soldiers was all kept in Fort Duchesne. And the nigger soldiers especially. The nigger soldiers left before the fort was abandoned.
Yes.
Several years. And so I can't even remember just what year the fort was abandoned, but I believe it was 1912.
That's right.
I like to know the date that Fort Duchesne was first started.
I have it in my book. I'll give it to you when we get through here. I'll
Yeah.
tell you. Yeah, I have it. The story of it. Did you ever go to Fort Duchesne when the Negro soldiers were there?
Lots of times.
What did they do? What did they do with their time?
Oh, they just stayed there and idled the time away. There was nothing to do.
There was nothing to do. They did keep the grounds pretty, though, didn't they? Didn't they plant lawn and flowers? And
I didn't hear what you said.
didn't they plant the lawn and the trees and the flowers there and keep that up?
I think that was done before the niggers came.
What about Wong Sing?
The niggers came from Meeker to here, to the same 9th Cavalry that they sent to reinforce Custer's army. And they got there too late. See, the battle was all over when they got there. Oh, and they had the Meeker massacre. They sent them there, and they got there too late. So then they shipped them to Fort Duchesne. So just one company of nigger soldiers.
They were stationed down in RA too, weren't they?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Not in my time.
Not your time.
No.
Lina, if anything you remember you said last night, remind me so we'll count me.
They did have a fort there at one time, but that's too far back for me. I don't know.
What help did you get from the government when you first started here, other than your land? Did they give you anything to help you at all?
Oh, they give us rations just the same as they did the full-bloods. And annuity payments about twice a year, between $14 and $20 per head. Was all paid in gold and silver then.
In gold and silver.
Yeah.
Uh,
They'd send 16 soldiers out to Price with a 4-horse team of mules to bring the money in. And they had it in a iron box, you know, like you've seen, like you heard about. They used to carry on the stages. They had half the guards in front of the coach and half behind it. They guarded it all the way through. Every time they had a payment, they'd send the soldiers out there to guard it in.
how did they bring it in? From 9 Mile Canyon?
Through 9 Mile, yeah. From Price through 9 Mile, through Gate Canyon, and then on out this way.
Did you know any of the outlaws that came through this area?
No, I didn't know any of them.
You didn't know any of them.
Oh, I met
Warner?
Matt Warner in Price. I don't know how he knew who I was, but he said that he walked up to you and said, "You're old man Pike boy, ain't you?" Well, evidently somebody told him. I told him I was, and he said he's well acquainted with my dad. He invited me up to the shooting gallery. He'd run the shooting gallery in Price at that time. He invited me up, and I promised him to come, but I didn't get to
Go, huh?
I wish I had. I'd like to have. That's sad. I ain't very good on this story business.
I think you're pretty good.
I don't care.
Do you remember anything about when they started the sun dances or the bear dances here?
That must have been started before we came.
Before you came.
It hasn't probably been going on for years.
Do you see any changes?
Ma'am?
Do they change? Has it changed?
Well, it's just gradually gone down, that's all. Gradually wearing out, like, you know, and it ain't within 50% of what it used to be. They don't have near so many dancers, and they don't dance as much. Used to be real entertaining, but it's pretty draggy.
Pretty draggy now, huh?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything about Fort Rubidoux? Ever hearing anything about the old fort or the Reed Enterprise?
No, all I remember about Fort Rubidoux was part of the old foundation still there. When we was kids going to school in Whiterocks, we used to. They had a few rocks laid around, and we used to run around on them, play on there, you know. And I guess what's left of it probably all overgrown now. I don't know about where it was. That's all I know about that.
Well, Jap, a lot of people said that William Reed and some of them were here before Robidoux. You never heard that, huh?
No, but they undoubtedly were. He was supposed to set up a trading post here, fur trading post. Well, evidently there was Indians here before he came.
Before he came. This is what I have here. This Sambo Archambault that was here was the child of Sacagawea that came in with William Reed. But a lot of people remember Jimmy Reed, but they don't remember a William Reed. Did you ever hear of a William Reed?
Not of the old family.
You didn't?
No.
You remember Jimmy Reed?
Jimmy Reed, I knew him. I used to live in Old Ashley, what they call Old Ashley now. That's where they lived, and then they moved over here to Whiterocks. He was a Frenchman. She was a full-blooded Shoshone Indian woman.
How did you make a living for your family, Jap, out here where there wasn't much?
It was just root hog or die.
I guess so. I guess you've had your times too, haven't you?
It's pretty rough.
Lina, if you think of anything to ask him, he told you last night, why speak up so we can do it again.
I think the only reason we made it was that my wife could make more gravy with a sack of flour and a barrel of water than any other woman.
Yeah, I guess people really had a rough time, didn't they?
It was pretty slim.
I think that's a real lovely compliment, you bet. That's a real compliment to your wife, you bet.
Well, Marriott made a meal out of nothing. Nobody else could.
All right, Jap, how do you see things today? How are the Indians improving? How do you see them over the way when you first came here?
Oh, I think they're getting more like whites. Majority of whites, at least. They know how to steal. They won't pay bills. And,
That's about...
I mean, in other words, they're becoming civilized, like the white man. That's the way they are. You know. And that's fact.
Okay, Jap, do you remember who owned the first store in Whiterocks? A lot of people say Merriman. I understand somebody else had it before then. Remember that, Lina?
So Mr. Calvert
Yeah, that.
owned the store
Calvert.
when we came here.
Calvert.
Calvert, yeah.
And then Merriman after that.
He sold out to Merriman.
To Merriman.
Yeah.
That's the way it was.
Yeah, he sold out to Merriman. Then he moved to Mighton when he sold out to Merriman and run a store in Mighton quite a long time.
Let's see. Tell me some of the things you used to do for entertainment.
steal watermelon.
That's all right. That's entertainment.
That is, we tried to and didn't get away with it.
I did that in my day too.
We used to make bows and arrows mostly.
Bows and arrows.
Copied after the Indians, you know. And we'd hunt rabbits and sage hens.
Well, I've been fun to remember.
There were millions of sage hens on these benches.
Was there?
Yeah,
You don't see any
we
of
could
them
walk
now.
up within 30 feet of them. Yeah.
That's where the white people that damage say Indians.
Tell me about the Piote meetings.
I can't tell you about field meetings. I never was to one.
Well, he knows all of them. We used to hear the drums.
All I know about field meetings is what I've been told.
Lay there many times. Get off the table. We're having a field meeting. To me, that's something interesting.
Bill Reed, you probably know about the field meetings.
Did he go to them?
Well, I don't know, but he's pretty well informed.
He knows about them. Huh? Well, they're still having them. They still have them all the time.
I've heard of having them even lately.
Yeah, they do.
I don't see them. I don't see it in the field meetings. Don't see them gather anywhere. Well, they don't get around like we used to, you know.
Remember Tabby White?
I grew up with Tabby White.
Did you? Well, there's lots of stories about Tabby. Was he as mean as they said he was?
I don't think so.
You don't?
No.
No?
It was a habit in his days and mine too. Everybody carried a gun. I carried one all the time. Still got one in there that I used to have. We all carried guns. As soon as we got big enough to get money enough to buy a gun, that's the first thing we bought.
So he wasn't as mean as they said, huh?
No, I don't think so.
Do you remember the old strip? At Gusher?
Yes, I do. Been there hundreds of times.
All right. Was it as bad as we hear the stories of?
About 100 part.
Not 100 part.
Yeah.
You remember anything that happened up at the strip that would be interesting?
Oh, nothing in the rough line. I knew people that lived there. People that run the store, the saloon.
Who were they, the early people?
Tom Nichols.
Tom Nichols.
He was Tom Hall then. When we came here, he was Tom Hall. Then something happened. He went away and was gone. Neighborhood of 3 years. And then when he came back, his name was Tom Nichols.
Same man, huh?
Same man, exactly.
Did you ever know of any murders or anything that took place at the strip?
No.
Brigham told me there used to be a couple of murders a week.
Oh,
You don't believe that?
oh, you know, every time people get to talking, they go on and they get to lying to themselves.
They don't tell the truth, huh?
They don't know what the word means, most of them. Did you read George Stewart's story about the strip? 90% of it, just wrong as it can be.
It was wrong.
Oh, sure.
You don't go along with that at all. Did you ever go to school on the strip? Did you ever attend the school there?
They never had no school to strip.
They didn't.
No. There's only one woman lived there. And her name was Mrs. Kingsley. I don't know what became of her husband, whether he was a soldier and got killed or died. I don't know, but her name was Kingsley at that time. she had one boy. In fact, two boys. Had one half nigger boy. Called him Bill Lines. I used to play with him when I was a kid. This is my age. Bill Lines was the same age as me.
What happened to him?
Well, he lived up till he was 83 years old and then died.
Here in the basin?
In and out.
In and out of the basin.
He lived in Wellington his last years.
All right. Now, you read George Stewart's article and what he said about Mr. Reynolds. Was it Reynolds that was killed there by Tabby White? Was that true?
Yes, but in his story, it's right there. You didn't.
I read it.
Mr. Reynolds' name isn't in that.
It isn't.
No. I wondered about that a lot of times. George didn't put Mr. Reynolds' name in there. That's all.
Why?
But he did. In his story, he said that Tabby White, he called him Tabby Weep. And in his story, he said he shot it out with 3 men. But he didn't do no such a thing. No, of course not.
All right. Tell me it as you know it.
Ma'am?
How do you know it? I mean, tell me the story as you know it.
Well, I was there the day it happened, see? I and the wife went over there after groceries. And on our way home, we met Tabby White and Bob Reynolds. Just west of the strip, about a mile. And they had a jug of whiskey and stopped and asked me to have a drink. I told them no, I didn't want any. And, we visited a few minutes, then they went on over the strip. Well, that shooting happened that afternoon. See, I missed it. I wasn't there when the shooting started. And come on home, and then that night, either Jay Burchell or George Stewart, that's just George Stewart's dad, come down and told me that Tabby had killed Bob Reynolds out there. That they had him in jail down in Fort Duchesne. I didn't see the killing. I wasn't there when it happened. But I went back out there the next morning. Got there about noon, and Tom Nichols come out the door and he said, "You left a little too soon yesterday to see the fun." I said, "What happened?" I let on like I hadn't heard about it. I said, "What happened?" And he told me the story. That's all I know about that. I went down to Fort Duchesne to see Tabby the next morning. I got ready to go. Wife said, "Don't go down there and get into trouble." I said, "The trouble's all over." I went down to the guardhouse, and there's a guard there. I asked him, I said, "You got a man in here named Tabby White?" He said, "I think so." I said, "Can I get to see him?" "You'll have to ask the sergeant of guard." He was sitting at a table in the first door you go in there, and I went and asked him if I could visit with Tabby White. He said, "Yes." He said, "Lay your gun on the table." I put my gun out and laid it on the table, and he said, "Right in there." And I went in there, and Tabby was sitting up looking at a magazine. I said, "How are you?" He said, "Pretty good, I guess." He said, "I guess I killed my friend." First thing he said. I guess I killed my friend. And he told me about what happened out there, how the shooting happened. I went from there on out to Moffat then to see they'd moved from the old strip up to Moffat. That was a quarter mile further east. That's all I know about
What
that.
did he say happened, Jap? How come he killed him? Was it just drinking? Or did he ever say why,
Oh.
what happened, or did he remember?
The stage used to drive up there, and it stopped right by the store. Headed north, and threw the mail sack off there. They didn't have a regular post office there, but the clerk, Mr. Donaldson, he fixed up some pigeonholes in there to put the mail in for the people that lived right around there. And he took care of that, free granted. The stage drove up there and stopped. A man on it named Judge Wilson. He was an attorney in Vernal. Evidently, him and Tabby had an argument over some money. And Tabby pulled his gun on him and told him to get down and lay his money on that rock. There was a big flat rock laying there. And he said to lay my money on that rock. And old Judge Wilson got down, and I don't blame him for that either. Looking down a 45.
You bet.
And he got down and laid what money he had on the rock, and then a shot struck Tabby in the neck, right in there. Knocked him over forward, he said. On the dazed him a little bit.
You told now where he got shot when he was down through the back of the ribs. Now start from there and finish the story.
Well, the second shot, when the second shot hit him, he said it brought him to, like, and he turned around, and the only man he could see was Bob Reynolds running. He'd shot him and then whirled to run. He failed to kill him, so he whirled and run, intention to go around the corner of the house. Tabby just pulled his gun and shot him 3 times, just like that. Tom Nichols said any one of the shots would have killed him.
What was it, Bob that was shooting then at Tabby first?
Bob shot at Tabby, yeah. Shot him twice first.
And they were really friends.
In the back,
And then they sent Tabby to prison for it, didn't they?
yes. Tabby didn't have no help, no support.
No, that was too bad. All right, now tell me what you just said about Fort Duchesne. You think it was built before the date?
Oh, yes, it must have been, because it would take somewhere around from 2 to 5, 6 years to build what they had there. That was all built.
Now you came in 1891,
Yes, Mom.
and you say it was nearly built then.
It was complete,
It was completed.
all but the old office building. That was built after we came here.
Who did you say built that?
Man by the name of Huff. I don't know his first name.
Do you remember when they had the stockade around the?
Oh, yes. The
Was it on the
stockade was
inside?
all around.
Was it on the outside of the fort or on the inside?
It was on the outside of the officers' quarters.
Officers' quarters.
Yes, from where the Legion Hall is now, clear around to where the old hospital used to be. That's where the stockade was. And then where the Toes had his garage, they had a stockade there around it. Some tables there that they kept the officers' horses in. They kept them separate from the cavalry troops. It was all stockade. Board fence, 8 feet high.
8 feet high.
Yeah.
Do you
clear out.
remember when they tore it down?
Well, not the exact date, but No, I don't remember what the.
Was it after the Negro soldiers left? After
Oh
the
yeah,
soldiers
it's a long time.
Long
after
time
they
after
left.
that.
It wasn't torn down till after the soldiers left Fort Duchesne.
Soldiers left.
And then whoever was superintendent there ordered it tore down.
Do you remember any of the superintendents, the early superintendents, Jap?
Well, some of them slipped my mind, but old Colonel Ranelette was superintendent when we came here. And then Captain Mercer, he was superintendent a while. Captain Hall was superintendent a while. Major Martin was superintendent a while. That was all up to Whiterocks. And then
What kind of a man was Captain Martin?
strictly Army.
Strictly Army.
But they were Army officers.
Were the Indians still living in teepees and so forth at that time, or had the government started to build them homes?
I don't remember when they started to build homes for the Indians.
Jap, didn't you live down on the river across from Grandma Daniels's, down in that area? Wasn't that where your place was at?
You know where the Gilsonite mine
Yeah.
is down there?
Yeah.
Right under the hills from there, on the river.
Well,
Just
that was
down
your
on
place.
the river. That's where we lived.
Well, do you remember when they started the Gilsonite mine then?
Yes,
Who started that?
the Raven Mining Company.
Raving.
Raven Mining Company.
Why did they close it? Did they run out of Gilsonite, or
It got so deep they had water trouble.
water killed you?
Yeah. They didn't run out of Gilsonite. They just got down to where the water was got out of control. They couldn't afford it. The vein was so small that they couldn't. The profit from it wouldn't justify to carry on.
Keep going. Well, then you were close to Stace Reed's family. Didn't they live down in that area too?
They lived everywhere. Every night overtook them. Every night overtook them. That's where they lived. But at first, she was my aunt, Stacy's mother, and she married John Reed. They lived up at Whiterocks. He had a heart attack up there and died. Then she married Ammon Workman. From then on, they just moved one place to another.
All right, you lived across from Grandma Daniels. How did she get along up there without her husband? Do you remember old man Daniels?
Yes, I do. That's where we wound up when we first came here. It was high water time, and we came up on the west side of the river. We got up to Daniels's place, and the water was high, and the dad didn't know whether anybody lived or not, and he lived very close or not, so he climbed up in the tree and hollered. Finally, some man come down to the river from the east side. He told us not to try to cross it there. It's just too deep and swift. He said, you better go back down to Fort Duchesne and come up the other side. So we did.
Well, where did the old road run through? Wasn't there an old road on Grandma Daniels? Wasn't that the main road?
No, it never was the main road, but there was a crossing there.
A crossing there.
There was a crossing there. We called it the Daniels Crossing. The river is divided into two streams, so they could cross.
But you remember Mr. Daniels? He was
Yes,
quite a bit
I know
older, wasn't he?
Mr. Daniels. He was crippled awful bad
Was he?
when we got here. walked on crutches. Crutches.
He was quite a bit older than she, wasn't he?
Yes. A lot older than she was. In fact, he raised her.
Yeah, I knew she was sold to him, to the family. Well, how did she get by after he died then, if you were down in that area? How did she get along?
Oh. She leased her place to different men, and they farmed it for her. She leased it, the first I know of, she leased it to Device and Hancock.
Was that your grandpa? Oh.
His brother, the wife's dad.
Oh. Well, Jap, when Whiterocks built the store here, were you up in this country when he built the store up here?
We was down on the old ranch.
When he built?
Whitlock didn't build no store.
He didn't.
No.
Who built it?
Hen Lee.
Hen Lee.
Hen Lee built the store.
And then Whitlock bought it from him.
Whitlock bought it from him.
And she made it.
What are you going to do with that? She walked up and carried this up to me one morning on my birthday.
This is Grandma Daniels, and made a.
What are you going to do with that? She said, it's yours. It's your birthday present.
Well, boy, that's priceless. You want to hold on to that, don't you? It's a beautiful crocheted doily that Grandma Daniels had made. Given to her in 1936.